yeah, hopefully we can answer a few questions too, and hopefully you guys can fill us in a little bit too, what's going on and what you guys see in your week-to-week lives as well. I run the Needle Exchange on the Sunshine Coast. It's a program that's been running for about 10 years now. From the point of view of a taxpayer, it's way more expensive for me to have to care for somebody that's HIV positive or hepatitis C positive. It's very expensive. What kind of drugs are you guys seeing on the weekends at parties and stuff like that? You must see pot quite often. And you probably see booze at parties quite a bit.
Lots of weed.
Lots of what?
Lots of ecstasy.
Lots of ecstasy. Typical story would be an adult man that's working in the timber industry, sustains an injury, has back surgery, has to deal with the back pain, has a prescription for morphine. One thing leads to another. He doesn't put that morphine down when the doctor says he's supposed to. A year later, he's been using morphine for a year and he's now addicted to opiates, and that's a really common story.
When you look at your friends or people that you know, or just people that maybe you see on the television or something like that, in your mind, or your minds, when does substance use cross into misuse or abuse? Like, when does it start to become a problem? If somebody's doing all day, like getting high all day long, it becomes... we would probably say that person at that point is completely dependent, because their whole life revolves around getting the drug, getting high, coming down, figuring out how they're going to get the money to get it again, and their whole life gets sacrificed. So one measure is the time that it takes out of their lives. If it's interfering with your ability to have meaningful friendships, then it's becoming a problem. If you're using it as the only way to get stress relief, for sure. The European experts would say they've made some mistakes, and so making powerful drugs very available, and people don't realize the potency and they get addicted. So they've tried to kind of streamline how they're presenting this, but yeah, they're trying to get the shame out of it. They're trying to get they're trying to make it a health issue, not a criminal issue. Mm-hmm. So it is a different mindset. But as a worker in the field, I do agree with the idea that youth and drugs, your brains are so vulnerable, and your bodies are so vulnerable because they haven't finished growing. I still kind of say, if you can hold back, if you can wait till you're older to experiment or sample, like, I would feel better about that. I wouldn't feel good about giving the message it's okay for teens to experiment. There is some more understanding that in some cultures and some societies that psychoactives are legitimately used in spiritual pursuit. But any of the traditions that would use a psychoactive, a drug to enhance spiritual experiences, it's very controlled settings. So there's already structure set up within those cultures that minimize the chance of abuse. It's just that for teenagers, it's just so risky, especially with the ones that create hallucinations. A young person's mind can go out there and not come back, and I've seen that. So,
there's a lot of drugs in our society, and some drugs are, it's a godsend that we have it, like our pain medications, our cancer drugs, and some of them are a godsend. Our society wouldn't be the same without them. So, drugs are not bad in themselves. It's our relationship with them. People will use drugs, unfortunately. If that's what they want to do, they will use it no matter what the risks are or what they have to do to overcome the obstacles. So, as a harm reduction worker, I would prefer to keep people healthy as long as possible until they hopefully get to a point where they want to make a choice. Because one thing we've learned in addictions is until the individual decides to make a change in their lives, there's not much we can do.
It's such a joy actually to come and talk and get the ideas, and so I really appreciate having the chance to come.
Thanks for having us in.
Yeah.